All right, folks. Look, it just keeps getting better. And these first 100 days of Trump, if it's shown us anything, it has shown us that he is 100% for the American people. And today, I want to show you something. You may have seen it, you may not have seen it, but guess what? It's worth watching again. So, without further ado, pay attention. Pay attention to this clip, and then I'll give you my commentary on it. And let's roll.
César Eliseo Sortomanga.
All right, so that clip alone has millions of views, um, because it's just that good. So in that clip that you just saw, you are witnessing the deportation of 238 Venezuelan gang members to the El Salvadorian prison, and and this was something that that El Salvador has, that they came with Trump, or they came to Trump about earlier, and were like, yes, we will take your prisoners, because their countries, they were like, no, we don't want them, you deal with them. So Trump was like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Well, the biggest thing about this is that liberals are, for whatever reason, having a hissy fit over the deportation of these criminals. Criminals who are, of course, here illegally and are coming up and attacking our own. We're talking not just petty crimes per usual. We're talking the crazy heavy stuff, right? So what's going on? All right, in the wake of the president, this is from Post Millennial. In the wake of President Donald Trump invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to swiftly detain and deport illegal immigrant gang members, hundreds of members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua, as well as MS-13 members, were flown down to El Salvador. On Saturday evening, the same night that the flights took place, a federal judge issued an order temporarily blocking such flights from taking place as litigation against the invocation of the act plays out. On Saturday evening, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg blocked the Trump administration for 14 days from using the Alien Enemies Act with American Civil Liberties Union (ACLU) Attorney Lee Gilnett, stating during Saturday's hearing that there were two aircraft believed to be carrying Venezuelan deportees that took off from the U.S. on Saturday, per the Wall Street Journal. Now, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt said in a statement the administration did not refuse to comply with a court order. The order was issued after terrorist aliens had already been removed from U.S. territory. So the judge tried to basically, it sounds like he tried to just stop the planes in mid flight from deporting these criminals. And it's not like you can just press brakes, turn around like you're in a car. The written order and the administration's actions do not conflict, the outlet noted. Typically, lawyers view orders issued orally by judges as carrying full legal weight. El Salvador President Nayib Bukele shared a post early Sunday morning showing the arrival of the gang members in the Central American nation. He wrote that the first 238 members of the Venezuelan criminal organization Tren de Agua arrived in our country. They were immediately transferred to CECOT, the Terrorism Confinement Center, for a period of 1 year, which is apparently renewable. The United States will pay a very low fee for them, but a high one for us. On this occasion, the U.S. has also sent us 23 MS-13 members wanted by Salvadorian justice, including 2 ringleaders. One of them is a member of the criminal organization's highest structure. This will help us finalize intelligence gathering and go after the last remnants of MS-13, including its former and new members, money, weapons, drugs, hideouts, collaborators, and sponsors. Folks, look, I don't see, again, how you continue to be Democrats. The Democrats are over here just having a fit about the deportation of gang members, violent, evil individuals who could care less if you voted for them to stay in this country. This is removing threats. But the Democrats, they don't want that. Listen to what what's her name? Anyway, here, just listen to what she has to say. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they are willing to stand up and go toe to toe with common sense and decency to protect criminals. It's disgusting. It's the point, and they will not go to this extent for the American people. They will not. They would rather have you sit there, listen to their lies, do everything that they tell you to do, wear the mask, take the shot, all of this. But when it comes to these illegals, these criminals, they are 100% for them. And that's they say, hey, we have to protect. I'm here for the American people. Well, who are your American people? Because it can't be us. Your quote unquote American people are these criminals right here that you are going and defending each and every day. You're out here ready to have a protest. You're out here hosting ways for illegals to avoid being deported. But let me not keep going. But here, I want you to watch this clip. Just watch. It's disgusting.
It is hard to imagine anything more un-American than that. The Trump administration's immigration policy is a threat to immigrants like criminals. America is too great to fall prey to Donald Trump's anti-immigrant agenda. We need to restore basic humanity to our immigration system, and that starts with repealing the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, with Our Neighbors Not Enemies Act. Together, we will end this xenophobic law once and for all.
Again, out here fighting for evil, demons, criminals. They're right here. And you know what? And American people see that. I don't care what side of the aisle you claim to be, Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever. You cannot say that those people are deserving of being in the same room as you, as deserving to be in the same room with your kids, as deserving to be on the same block as you, the same apartment complex. We've heard countless stories, tragic stories of individuals, people losing their lives all because of these demons that were allowed to come into our country. And it's sickening that the Democrats, they're not even hiding it. That was Ilhan Omar, by the way, for those of you who weren't able to watch, just heard it. That's Ilhan Omar, someone else who needs to be investigated. But that's another story for another time. However, this shows because this also you the disapproval rating of the Democratic Party came out yesterday, and this you you would think that they would know best by now, but apparently this shows you right here that they are not for the American people. This is basic common sense stuff. The fact that again that they're going up there and vouching for evil to have rights to remain in the US is sick. It's just sick. I mean, we all saw how they didn't stand for young DJ during Trump's address to Congress a couple of weeks ago, the kid who survived cancer, and that's something just worth celebrating in and of itself because cancer is horrible. It's disgusting. I don't care who you are. It's sad to see, especially when it's a young kid. But they couldn't stand for him because you know why? It was Trump. Trump was involved. Trump invited him. Trump had a hand in all of that, that. Anything Trump touches, they act like that they cannot appreciate. Even just, and that's a lot of people are even just leaving the Democratic Party altogether because they're like, this is just sick. How can you stand up here and vouch for these criminals who have done some very, very, very demonic things, and they don't have an ounce of remorse for the crimes that they've committed? So the Democratic rating has dropped. What it was like 20%. Let me go and check on that real quick. It was, yeah, there it's dropped to 27%, and it's never been that low. And Trump's rating continues to rise because right now I believe it's going to continue to rise the more people see and are able to make sense of what's actually going on as time goes on, and the things that we've been programmed to believe and consider normal is actually disproven. Like we've seen a lot of stuff with Doge lately, a lot of stuff. It keeps coming out each and every day. All of the fraud, wasteful spending, and abuse that our nation has been undergoing for decades. That we ourselves were told that just what it's your tax dollars are working hard for you, but we find out no, they're working hard against us. Um, you had Trump. He's proposing to not tax individuals who make $150,000 a year. That's great, right? That's more money in your pocket. Do you know how much more money you yourself as an individual will be able to hold? That you will be able to invest in the debts that you can pay off, the things that you have dreamt about doing that you are now able to do. But the left are continuously saying, oh, he's for his rich friends. How is that for his rich friends? Trump is continuously showing you how the Democrats aren't for us, that they're out against us, right? So, I'm gonna just close out with this one last video about this Obama. It was an Obama judge, and I'll leave you with this clip. But I just felt like, look, folks, it's. I understand, and I've spoken to several people about it. They have mixed. Some still have mixed feelings about what Trump is doing, what they see happening. I understand the cutting of jobs, and no one should lose a job, but unfortunately, one job loss happens quite often, especially in the private sector. And two, that's just because government became too big, and therefore all of this is happening. But Trump is cutting the fat. He's lifting the veil. He's showing you all of this stuff that's been going on, and it's just common sense. And is if you can't allow yourself to see how good things are going for us right now, despite how you may feel about Trump, then you seriously have I'll go they Trump derangement syndrome and Musk or Elon derangement syndrome. Okay, sure, those are the titles that they give it. I also think it's a spiritual thing. I think it's the devil not wanting you to see the truth, and therefore you are holding on just holding on to that hate just because of the person who is doing it, because on top of that, you've been programmed to go along with it. You've been programmed to accept that this is how it's supposed to be. So again, I'm gonna just close it out with this clip from Fox. Please, 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 please comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, receive notifications of when I upload a new video. Also, check me out on Instagram. I come out and I can only do right now so much with the YouTube, but I can post much, much more on Instagram. It's not going to be as lengthy and as much commentary as this. You're going to see much of my stuff in the description, and some stuff I just might just put out there. I'm just sharing it as I come across it and leaving it up for you to discuss, add to your backpack of knowledge and such like that. So check out my Instagram. I'll try to get more videos out. Just scheduling right now just doesn't really permit it. But yeah, here, take a look at this clip. I appreciate you all stopping in. God bless. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. And I'll check you guys out on the next one.
But let me play this first from somebody who I know is not a favorite of President Trump. This is Andrew Weissman, who's a former top Mueller prosecutor. Of course, it's not a huge surprise that he didn't like this operation. He doesn't think it's legal under the act that you just mentioned, Stephen. Watch.
We're not at war with Venezuela. We're not at war with the gang that is the subject of the executive order. There is no invasion that is going on. And you also have to show that the people you're removing are actually part of that gang, even if there were an invasion or a war. And this statute may, in fact, be very unconstitutional.
So the judge has to be convinced that these individuals aren't real. I mean, it's a huge group, and, nobody's going to miss any of these people, but they're quantifiable. So can you prove that these individuals were linked with Tren de Aragua and that Tren de Aragua is part of a Maduro operation, Stephen?
So first of all, Andrew Weissman is an absolute moron. He is a moron, and he is a fool, and he's a degenerate. Andrew Weissman has devoted his career to putting innocent Americans in jail, taking away their civil liberties. He was involved in the Mueller coup against a democratically elected President, Donald J. Trump. Weissman should never be on TV anywhere. He should hang his head in eternal shame for what he's done to this country. And now he's up there shilling for people who rape and murder Americans. That's who Andrew Weissman is. I met the mother of Jocelyn Nungary, Alexis Nungary, who President Trump honored at the State of the Union, named a national wildlife refuge after her daughter. Tren de Aragua terrorists took that 12-year-old angel and they tortured her to death. They sexually assaulted her. They stripped her and they dumped her body in a river. That's who President Trump has deported from this country. Behind every single one of those terrorists was another future rape victim, another future sex trafficking victim, another future murder victim. And most importantly, every one of those people was here illegally. They have no right to be in this country for 1 second longer. They are illegal aliens. They are foreign terrorists. They are alien enemies. And the law at the heart of this issue was signed in the founding generation of this country, the same generation that wrote our Constitution. People say, oh, it's an 18th century law. You know what else is an 18th century law? The Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights of the United States. The founding generation gave us this law, gave President Trump this law to repel this invasion from our country.
I mean,
and it was all detailed in the proclamation, how this gang was sent here by a foreign government, and President Trump is sending them out of this country.
Well, we look forward to learning.